Good morning, friends, on a quite bright studio or workshop. This morning we have a new guitar on the bench, and it is brand new, and it's a returning client. And let me show you what it is. And I'm not sure of the model, but it's a Jackson, made in China Jackson. No paint on this, just a satin finish, which probably helps keep the price down. Binding on the neck also, we know these are good, and a Jackson by Floyd Rose tremolo. So I'm not sure what model it is. Would we say it's a JS32 or something similar? It's that kind of thing, isn't it? Master volume, master tone, three-way selector, so full bridge, both pickups, full neck in those three positions. Let me just have a quick look at my client's message, which he first sent me. Okay. It's a JS32 Dinky. This is from it's from the 16th of June. This message. So, what he wants is new strings, which is provided. He's provided some D'Addario XLs, I believe. They are, no, they're not. They're Slinky Cobalts, similar type of equivalent, but by Ernie Ball. Blah 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 blah. He wants action, relief, intonation, blah 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 blah. It has a trem, which there normally is an extra charge for a tremolo. We'll see. It's all about how long it takes me. I'm going to check the setup. I collected it from his house. Not going to charge him for that. It's more or less on the way to my job at Rawmel. Blah 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 blah. Nothing else to report. Action, relief, intonation. So it just wants a regular setup. So what we'll do is we'll do the thing that we normally do. I'll check the intonation. I'll plug it in. We'll have a little test of it. We'll check the setup as it is. Check the intonation. If everything's pretty much spot on, I won't really have to charge him for a tremolo setup. Try and keep the cost down. I just need to make sure that all these tuners are in the centre position. They all look very high to me at the moment. So we're going to certainly alter that. Certainly not in tune. One bugbear, he had this in the box, he had it sellotaped to the top of the box, and it's covered in tape residue, which I'm going to have to get off. You know, but that's okay. Let's just check if it's a wobble or it stays. Right, it doesn't wobble in the tremolo, which is fantastic. We do like that. And that's nice and stiff in there. Very good, very good. No wobble there at all. So the tremolo needs setting up. I don't appear to have a guitar lead knocking about. It means I've took them all downstairs to play. I had a band rehearsal a couple of weeks ago, and I gathered all my guitar leads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the setup, try and get it in tune on the fine tuners. Hopefully I can do that. That's why the locking nuts are loose. All the locking clamps on here are loose. So I'm going to do a quick setup with the strings on as it is. I'll stretch the strings in first, and then I'll test it, and I'll get back to you pretty soon. So I had to close the blind so the light doesn't shine on the guitar. We've got beautiful light in here now though. Now I've put the strip lights up, the LED lights. So my way of setting up a guitar is, I think it's slightly different from what you may call orthodox, in as much as I always set the guitar up first with the old strings on. I've checked the setup. There wasn't enough relief in there. I've let a bit more relief in there. The action's a little bit high. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. But we have got the guitar more or less in tune. In fact, it's slightly sharper than in tune because I've got the guitar laid down and it sharpens up when it's on its back. But I'm doing this just to get the intonation close. And the intonation is close. A little bit sharp there on the E. This string came out of its clamp there. It wasn't in deep enough, and this one snapped, the top E, so I put a new top E on there. I have these GHS strings knocking about. I've had for a while, 10s and 9s, so I've got spare. I've certainly got some 10s spare, so I'll just crack one of them on for now. It won't be staying on there. Now I have a Korg, is it a Korg Punio? I'll tell you in a second. It's a Pro rack affair. It's a DTR 1000 digital tuner. I believe this is a 1000, it's a 1000 Pro, I believe. This is Korg. And I paid everything else for it, I paid about 80-90 quid for it. which can pick them up for about 40, but it's only one available. Oops, I don't want the 15 fret, I want the 12. That's spot on. That's spot on. Now that is sharp, but the strings are really quite high. That's actually okay. So a setup from a factory is pretty much spot on. A little bit sharp on the G. Tiny bit sharp on the G, so we are going to sort that G out now. Do I have my correct Allen keys out at the moment? No, I don't have my correct set. I don't know what that screw's from, that shouldn't be there. So I need to go and get my, I do have a Floyd set knocking about, or what I use as a Floyd set, and it should be in this drawer over here. And it is not, it means my Floyd set has gone haywire. Now, maybe it is down here. I do have various sets of Allen keys at my disposal. There's a small one, I think that may be the right one I need. But I did have a set just knocking about for Floyd's. Don't know what I've done with it. Oh, is that it? This is it. This is my Floyd set, I believe. Anything not in there, and so that set is a bit mismatched. We'll crack that over there, crack these over there with it. I may have two sets, you see, because that's got another smaller one in there. But I think this is my unofficial Floyd set, and that should be for here. Now we did say we were sharp, did we? Yeah, we were sharp, so we're going to have to move the saddle to the right as we look at it. If it's sharp, which is 5 letters, we'll move it to the right, which is also 5 letters. And if it's flat, we'll move the saddle to the left as we look at it from this direction. Right, where are we? So let's loosen off this string somewhat. So we're going to need to move that saddle slightly away, not too much. I do have the intonation setting tool from Stumac. I've never used it. It seems to be a bit faff, but I think that should be enough. Let's stretch the string in. Oh, someone's given me a bing. Yeah, that's the actual owner of this guitar. He wants it setting up in E standard. He'll be happy to know that the guitar's on the bench. I was going to get it on from last week, but I had a busy week last week, and it was my birthday over the weekend. Well, it was my birthday yesterday, 26th of June. It's now Tuesday 27th, for our day off from Normal today. And my wife and I celebrated for a whole weekend. Still sharp. So I'm going to move it more to the right. Go there, let's go about there. Now this is not an official Floyd Rose, it's a Jackson Floyd Rose. It says Jackson by Floyd Rose, so maybe Floyd Rose are making them for Jackson. Now it certainly looks like it's the right size, so it's going to be slightly better than the Floyd Rose Specials, which are made in Korea, but maybe it is just a slant on a Floyd Rose Special, which again is a real Floyd Rose, it's just made in Korea, or they were made in Korea. I actually have a real German one from the 80s, so it'll be a Charla made, probably Kramer. Well, we're going to A, it's a G string. Let me show you the one I have. It's a beaut. I had this out of the Hamer that I worked on a couple of years ago, and I did a deal with the owner because he wanted to replace it with the Korean one, which he did. So I offered him for this, and I cleaned it up. That's an official Floyd Rose, a real one with the old handle in there. That I actually quite like, and it's 3 adjusters, and it'll say on there, made in Germany. Which it does, exactly, it says made in Germany. This is a brass block, made to look like steel, but it's not, it's brass. But that's a real, I believe, 1980, it's going to be in early 80s, certainly before 85, I think it's going to be in 84. And I don't have a guitar for that, but certainly not letting the tremolo go cheap. So let's see if we get it back in the drawer. I can't get it back in the drawer. So let's see where we are with this G string now. That should be, the intonation should be right. If it's not, I've got the action far too high, I think. And that's right. Showed a little bit sharp, let's loosen that, there you go. A little bit more difficult to set this one up because it doesn't have a retainer bar on this end, which makes things a little bit easier. That's just a hair sharp. I'm doing exactly the same with this one. I'm going to move it away just a little bit more. We've got the G set. I thought they were a little bit sharp. That one's fine. So let's see, we'll hold it in its position, move it, and that's right at the end of its travel on this, on there. Now I will eventually set this in the playing position when I do it finally. That's beautiful. And that's fine. So we have the intonation done, which is fantastic news. I'd like that to be a little bit more, a little bit lower, that a little bit lower. So I want these all central, more or less, because it gives me adjustment in each direction. And plenty of adjustment in each direction. Well, I think we're looking pretty good there. Quite happy with that. The tremolo is angled slightly forward, so I do need to alter the claw springs at the back, claw screws at the back. So we are, oh come on, that's hardly noticeable, but I need that to angle back. just a little hair. So let's see where we are. Yeah, we are semitone out on that. So I'm going to tighten the claw springs up at the back, just a hair. See where we are. And that should give us the right angle for the tremolo. So we are a hair out. Now I will show you how to set this tremolo properly when I come to the final setup. And it's not as difficult as you may think. A lot of people always say they're not worth a bother, Floyd Roses, they're never stay in tune, blah 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 blah. Well, we do stay in perfect tune if you set them up correctly. But you must set them up correctly. And you have to spend time stretching the strings, and you have to get all of the stretch out of the strings before you lock anything down, because if you don't, it's not going to stay in tune. So what we're going to do is, just as a matter of curiosity more than anything, I'm also going to remove the control cavity on this, just to have a look inside, because I'm nosy like that. I always like to see how things are manufactured. It's like, for instance, will it be full-size pots or will they be mini pots? Not there's any great difference, it's just I expect full-size pots to last a little bit longer, because you've got less of a sweep on a small pot. I'd probably expect these to be minis, because it's a cheap guitar, or it's a cheaper guitar with cut corners. So like, for instance, there's no string retainer bar behind the locking nut, there's no paint, etc, etc. I think you know where I'm going with this. It's going to be a bit of a bind to set free, but that's okay. So we're our 3-spring affair. Yeah, exactly what I thought. Mini pots. I would have thought alpha, but they're not. They could be, is it Jinyu or something? They are mini pots in there, and it's obviously it's a import 3-way switch. So nothing, you know, spectacular in there. Like I say, smaller pots in there. They work. They're fine. But you know, full-size pots are a little bit more expensive. Certainly on a higher priced Jackson, I'd want to be seeing full-size pots in there. I'd want to be seeing at least Alpha brand. It is an official FloydRose.com block in there. That's a surprise. So it is a Floyd Rose made tremolo. Very, very surprising, because it does have www.floydrose.com stamped on it. It's a 32mm block, so that will be a brass block made silver to look like steel, but brass is best, as we all know. And it is an official Floyd Rose with Jackson stamped on it. So I don't know where the cut corners on there. Maybe the plate and everything are slightly thinner than an OFR or an official Floyd Rose. I don't know how much these guitars cost. Certainly a few years ago you'd be getting one of these for £250, £300. So maybe they've crept up a little bit in price. Maybe this is a £350 guitar. Maybe consider you getting a decent Floyd Rose made Floyd Rose on there. I would say it looks pretty much the same as the official size ones. So what can I tell you? So it's certainly gone out of tune there, but that's nothing untoward. Now I would like to see these springs not in a triangle. Got to give this a turn. Give that a turn. And that's where I'd like to see that there. I'm going to open it tight. They are very, very tight. I wonder if I can just grab them and stretch them over to there. Yes, I can. How? Because knowledge is how. That's how I like to set up a Floyd Rose. Not in the triangle thingy, because I just think that gives a more even pull. Now that has made everything really sharp, I imagine. So if I basically down tune everything to get this more or less in tune, not done sharp. It's not very sharp at all. I've purposely detuned the guitar because I want to screw this claw screw, or this claw bracket in a little bit more. Now these screws in here are not straight, that's where they penny pinched a little bit. Softer screws, so they've got probably steel. I'm tuning this completely wrong, by the way. You can do it this way, but it takes longer. We'll get there doing it this way. So there you go. That tremolo is now set a little bit back. I don't mind that. So what I need to do is, again, release this claw just a little and we go half a turn on each of the screws. Just under half a turn, each of the screws, and that should give us the correct place. That tremolo should be about correct now, it should be about level when we're in tune to pitch. The more work I do now, the quicker it's going to be to set it up when we change the strings. And that tremolo is now set more or less level. It's probably half a degree off, so I'm fine with that. I'm now going to check the action at the 4th fret on the bass side and on the treble side to see if we are close to where I need to be. The bass side for me, 1.75, we're too high. Treble side, 1.5, we are too high. So I certainly need to lower the tremolo into the body just a little, not too much. Now people tell me you shouldn't do this when the guitar is tuned to pitch because it puts too much pressure on everything. So what I'm going to do is let all the pressure off of the strings, and then I'm going to detune. Or is that the right one? That's the right one. We'll screw this into the body by a good half a turn on the bass side. We're going to do the same on the treble side, and what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do it opposite way. So I'm going to pull up, and there you go, there's no pressure on the treble at all. And now I'm going to measure again, see where we are. Still high on the bass side, but bass side, sorry. So we're still a little high. I think we're pretty much as far as I can go in with those, but let's see. That's my dog. So we can't go any lower on the treble side, or on either side. So that is where it is set. So the action has to be the action. I can certainly alter the truss rod a little just to straighten the neck out, but that's as low as we can go. So we are going to have to be happy with that. We'll just check the tuner again. That's a little bit strange. But the only way we're going to get the action any lower is by altering the truss rod. So the action is the action. The problem is if we take more relief out, we need the frets to be supremely level. Certainly nothing wrong with the action. Just over 1.75, just over 1.5 on the treble side. Just over 1.75 on the bass side is fine. I'm happy that the tremolo's level. Pretty happy with the action. The action above the nut, above the first fret, is quite high. If there are any shims under that nut, I would be inclined to remove them. So that is the setup done with the old strings on. I'm not going to tighten anything up or clamp anything. There's really no need. I know the guitar is going to play fine. So what we're going to do next is we are going to remove the strings. These strings will be going in the bin, including the brand new 10 I just put on there, because we'll have a brand new set of strings going on. So the next part of the process is all about the neck and frets. And I hope I'm not going to see any high frets on this. You shouldn't when you've got a brand new guitar, but it's very rare you get level frets on a guitar nowadays on a new one, which is a shame. Turn the tune off, because it does make a buzz. Okay. So Ross the dog down there, his nose is right in my chair. He's not moving. He says he wants to spend the day with me today. So we're going to cut from this end. And there's plenty left on the tremolo to remove those. These. I mean, we're going to have to remove these clamps anyway, so I'm going to get them off now. Like I say, brand new string just gone on. Okay, see where we are with these. Try and get all the ends together and we can wrap them up. Together, much easier to dispose of when we're all wrapped the same. Like so. And now we can just wrap them all as one. Much easier to get rid of. My bin is halfway through being emptied, so it's not in the room at the moment. So we'll just stick that there out of the way. That's pretty good. And then all we need to do is to loosen all of these clamps and remove the other strings from this end. Now we know that the intonation is now set right, we know the saddles are in the right place, so we don't need to alter anything there. What we do is unlock these. I will hand tighten them just so nothing drops out, so we don't lose any of the saddle blocks in here, because they do disappear. That one doesn't move at the moment. Interesting. Interesting concept, that. Right, so let's just finger tight these back in so we don't lose any of the clamps. And there you go. So the tremolo is now sitting back there. So we're going to have a look at the neck. Now you've noticed I've not stopped this video. I won't stop the video, I'll keep it running. You know I don't edit my videos, you all know that. I like to just keep them running. I just release them as they are, unless I do anything, make a major mistake. So let's just see where we are with the neck as is. I would expect there to be a little back bow because of how tight I had the truss rod, and it appears there may be. If there's any back bow, it's very, very slight. So we look to be pretty much dead straight. And that is very, very nice. Let me get a light behind there. Okay. There's the tiniest bit of back bow. So that's as much, pretty much as straight as you can get it. I'm going to just release a little bit of that tension. I mean, like, there you go. And that should now be spot on straight. That's pretty good. And that is what we call a straight neck. Yep, very good. So we're just going to take the fret rocker, and I don't want to be seeing any high frets on this. Straight away, fret 2 is high, fret 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets aren't level anyway. I'm not going to do a fret level on it, we're going to get playing as it is. What an absolute bind though, to buy a brand new guitar and have the frets not level. But coming down the neck, it's a little bit better. 13's got a high spot. Because Vic is 16, the high spot, he's not playing professionally. I'm not going to bother with fret level. That's 19, a little bit high, is it 19? 18, a little bit high. But not too bad up this end. Wow. 21 is so high. But it doesn't matter, because that's the last fret at the end. 24th fret. So that doesn't matter. But that is really high. It's like we got to that. We'll see get to that one. We're not bothered. If that's lower, it makes no difference because that's your last fret where you can cause any buzz. So, we do have some high frets. I'm going to mallet them in. Ross, you're going to move. Move. Good boy. Come on, out of the way. He's not interested in moving, that dog. Hark at him. Excuse me. Let's just get a little bit underneath where we're hitting. A bit of support. And that's got all the support I need just there. That's fine. And we're just knocking these frets in. Still high, but that's in as much as it will go. if we've got any more high spots. So fret 19, and we're going to do the same, hitting with the nylon part of the mallet. 4, 12, 3, 22, 21. And that's certainly killed any high spots there. I don't charge for this, hitting them in with a mallet. Always support close to where we're hitting. That's nice. This one a tiny bit high. Again. Dog's having a right complaint behind me. I'll kick him out in a minute. So will these come unsuited again? Possible. But this is a service I don't charge for on a regular setup. So only if I have to file frets, there is an extra charge. Okay, we are up to 7. On to this end. Still high there, still high there. Okay, fret 5, I should need some filing. Fret 5, we can't leave that as it is. It is high, as is 2. I think we should get that in there. 2's okay, so fret 5, we're not going to get away with that. I'm going to grab my files and I'm going to spot level this one. There will be a charge for this. Here's my leveling file, it will be over here. Last, my Swiss made Valorb file, number 4 cut, super smooth, super sharp. I love this file, I've had it years and it's so wonderful. It does need a bit of a clean, but for spot leveling purposes it's going to be fine. So spot leveling, I should be taping either side in case I tip with the file and cut into the fingerboard, but I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut into the fingerboard. So we're looking at the last 15mm on that side. And the last 5mm on this side. So let's get this side done first. I'm just holding it level. Got my fingers there just to stop it rocking from side to side like so. And I'm just going to file and follow the radius. And it only files on the forward cut. I'm now going to check my work. couple of strokes, and that really is quite high. Really giving this some serious work on this one. And that's now good. Check back one, check forward one, and it's good in that area. So let's check this side. So again, some serious work on that far side. I do have a straighter side to this file. And again, steadying with my fingers so I don't cut into the fingerboard. Now I'm going to let the file find the radius. And come back and measure. So we are getting there. The file will find the radius if you let it. There you go. So from here, so the last 8 and 9 millimeters on this one. And it can take a while to get used to this. It just appears that I seem to be a bit of a natural at this kind of work. Never really had to learn too much. I just kind of did it. And praise the Lord for my gifts. There you go. Check back and forwards and we are fine. So we've got that one level now. Now because we've flattened the top, we need to rebuild that crown. I'm not going to explain how and why. I'm just going to take my StuMac Z file and I will quickly show it you. And it's a diamond file, so it cuts really smoothly. It has 2 different cuts, one this side, one that side. Turn it 180 degrees, it has the opposite. One that side, one that side, completely opposite. And what's great about this is it will not hit the top of the fret, but it will rebuild that crown. So it's impossible for it to hit the top of the fret. So it's just going to give us a nice thin area, about 0.3mm across on the top of the fret. And instead of it being flat top now, because we've just flattened the edges, we've rebuilt that crown. And then I will take a StuMac crowning file, a wide jumbo one, again a diamond file. And this will round off that file for me with a perfect crown. That's because it is, again, it's a diamond file, but it's got that perfect crown shape built in, that cut. And I'm going to go on the wider one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm just going to straight over, and we have re-crowned that fret we've just worked. Now what I do need to do is I need to clean these files. You don't just put these back in the case, you give them a proper clean, and that is why. Look at that there. Look, there you go. You always clean them. That's clean. And again, give them a clean. Beautiful. Now we can put them back. How good is that? So files used and cleaned, back in their drawer. This one's going to need a good clean later. That's pretty good, nice piece of leather there. So that fret is done. I do need to polish it a little. We'll get some, we'll get fret rubber on there, which I've just got down here just for polishing. Again, this is a made in Japan, it's a Hosco fret rubber, 1000 grit, and this will do a stellar job of removing any marks we've got with the files. And that is frets knocked in, one needed particular leveling with the file. There will be an additional charge for that one, but that is fine. So we will be oiling the neck fingerboard shortly and polishing these frets again. To do that, I'm going to tape up the pickups because we do not want to get any filings in there. So I'm going to grab me some Scotch 3M tape. This great blue, low-tack blue stuff I've been using for many a year. I'm going to seal off these pickups. That side along the pickup ring, so we can't get any filings in anywhere. And again on that side of the pickup ring all the way around. And that is perfectly protected. Same with this one. Straight over the middle, sealed on the edge, sealed there on the edge. That's it, that's perfect. We have a great seal there, so when I come to polish these frets shortly, we're not going to have any filings getting in there, because the magnets will attract steel wool filings. That's my proper set of Allen wrenches for my Floyd Rose, or Floyd Roses. There are 6 different file sizes in there. That's my Floyd set that I should keep apart from the rest. So that's all done. Get my tools back in their resting place over here where it's easy to pick them up. So I always stick them on a base, like so, so I can pick them up. If it was just on the table, I want to get my fingers on the room. Tools away. That's my Floyd set. The other set that is not the Floyd set can now go back in whatever bag it was in. We'll stick that in there. These are my spares, I believe. Spares of quite a few sizes. We'll stick those there out of the way. I can go back in the secondary drawer, like a backup drawer. This is my Floyd set that belongs in here. And like I say, put your tools away once you stop working with them, and you won't have any accidents by dropping things on guitars, which I have done in the past, way in the past. Part of the learning process. But there you go, and that's all the tools away. So we've got a nice area to work in. Remove all the bits of strings here, always cleaning up after ourselves. Stick that out of the way, stick that out of the way. The bits for the guitar we're working on can be just put together here, again out of the way. Has to go in the bin shortly. And that way we have a clean working area with no tools laid about to drop on guitars. And what we're going to do now is and prepare ready for spraying this fingerboard with some lemon oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these. So you're seeing more or less live how much time I spend on these guitars, on one guitar, and this is a £50 setup. There's normally a £15 extra charge for the tremolo plus £5 for the one fret I charge. I'll just check these 2 screws here that they are tight in. I actually prefer a rear mounted, but the problem with that is it weakens this area here, and it's the most stressed area on the double locking tremolo guitar. So my preparation is not the strongest method. Very much stress there. So there you go. The guitar is almost ready to receive some lemon oil. What I need to do first is I need to protect, even though I always lay some of this paper down every job and remove it, chuck it away after the job's done, I still like to put down a tea towel, one of my old tea towels, underneath the guitar to catch any spray drops, because I'm spraying the lemon oil on there. What I call it, we call it lemon oil, it's actually mineral oil with some lemon essence. It's not lemon oil at all. And there we go. Now what I would do is I would take a little piece of, it's just a piece of old chamois this is, like so. in this area. Because mine's in a spray bottle, my lemon oil. And I'm going to basically work it in with my fingers anyway, but this just stops any of the splashes going over the guitar, the headstock, and that's quite a lot. There's a lot of oil there, by the way. Let us go in and treat the wood. Soak in. Just pour a little bit of moisture in the fingerboard. And there's too much on there, but we're going to let it do its thing. I'll work it in with fingers. And any dirt on there will rise, this will get underneath it, rise to the top. We can give it a wipe down in about 15 minutes. But while this is doing its thing, I can get on with polishing the frets, can't I? To polish the frets, I'm going to need what we call a fret guard, but actually a fingerboard guard. Because the guard in the fingerboard, not the frets. Because these are a slightly bigger fret, we need slightly bigger ones, and that'll go at the dusty end, and this one will go from about fret 11 down. Do from fret 12, and we've got 12, we're doing 12 of each, aren't we? Because they're quite wide ones, and I do slightly radius them myself so they fit the fingerboard. And this is just a matter of, I don't think I have any already cut off. Well, I do have a bit already cut off, look, hardly used. And this superfine steel wool, grade 0000, and it's with the guard on there, just straight across the top of the fret. Try and get out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, and then we just move it to the next one. And same again. And this is a fret polish when we know we have the frets level. When we do an actual fret level, we polish much more deep than this. We go with 7 grits of sandpaper, then steel wool. Because obviously when we've levelled frets, we put scratch marks in them with files and the like. But these have not been filed, so they polish up really nice just with steel wool. But I bent my arm this way, just to try and stay out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. That's really it. It's as much polish as they need. So yeah, the frets were all over the place. We did need tapping in. Sometimes they can spring back out, then we'd have to glue them in. But because this is a brand new guitar, we just would hope they stay level. They should do, but they should come out of the factory level. But they don't, is the thing. So you see what I'm doing, so I'm going to do it from this side now so you can see what I'm doing like that. We'll work 5 a little bit more because that's had some work. So we'll give that some gusto, some extra. But no file marks in there because I filed that way, spot level, so we're absolutely fine. And that's the frets levelled. Well, it's the frets polished, should I say. And that's done. I can use that a few more times, so I'll stick that back over there. I shall get another piece of rag or a cloth. Give it a wipe. And you see, even though I've sprayed the oil here, it's spots all over the paper. It's why I put this paper down, because I want to keep the yoga mat clean underneath, because that is actually affixed to the bench, which we like. And it's affixed by, I put tape down first when I use double-sided sticky tape, so I can peel it back off just by peeling off the tape. And it will basically give me a clean surface again to put the next one down. But I shouldn't have to remove the yoga mat for a good while. So that's that part done. I'm going to leave this a little bit longer I'm not going to today, because that fingerboard should need no cleaning because it's a brand new guitar. So I'm going to go to my roll of paper, pull myself off a piece. I'm not going to need the whole piece, so if it rips in half nice and straight, which it has done, I took one piece of this that I'm going to lay down, and with this I can wipe off the excess of the oil. And with some getting under the frets, it means the frets aren't, well, they're certainly not glued in, they're certainly not all the way down to the fingerboard like they should be. And that's the thing nowadays, QC is nowhere near as good as it ought to be. Even though in many places it has improved, I find the area of frets to be the place where QC tends to be lacking. The thing is, if you're selling guitars cheap, they want to make as much profit as they can. So where they're cutting corners is in these places. That's why when you buy a brand new guitar, you have to send it to me for a proper setup, and sometimes in many cases a fret level, and you really shouldn't have to do that on a brand new guitar. But hey ho, I don't build them. So that's the oil and the muck. Well, I still have the muck off the fingerboard look from a brand new guitar as well. So what we'll do is with this piece, we'll remove any from the nose. And down the side of the neck, shouldn't be any. And then we can do one final between the frets, which will get rid of anything we've left behind. So you're seeing a setup basically from start to finish. If I stop this, I just stopped this video once when I did the first appraisal. I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but you're seeing me seeing everything done in the time it takes. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'll be checking, see if that tremolo will go down any more. Don't think it will. I think it's as low as it will go. I'm going to restring this. I've got to set the tremolo again. So you're going to have what you've already seen me do, and how much time this video has already passed by, double it, and that is a setup. So I'm thinking you're going to be getting toward, on a Floyd Rose guitar like this, you're getting towards 2 hours. So I think for your 60, with a Floyd, 65 quid, I think you're getting your money's worth. You're not just paying for the time it takes me either, you're paying for my experience and my skill. And I'm not justifying what I do because I think the prices are high, because I think my prices are very competitive and very fair, which they are. I'd just like you guys to know that you are getting your money's worth. Right, that's there. So I am going to stop the video now because I'm going to have a break, 5-10 minutes. It is 5 minutes past midday. And this video has been running for 59 minutes, so that's an hour you've had already. So a setup like this is going to be 2 hours. That's what you're paying you. It's a £50 setup with the extras for the tremolo and a little bit extra for the fret. So a 50 quid setup, you tell me you're not getting a deal there. How good is that? Right, I'm going to take a little break and I'll be back shortly. So I've moved the guitar close to the camera just to show you this next part of the process. And I've taken the first string, or the sixth string actually. I've cut the end off, as you do. And just to show you how to get these threaded in, and what you do is you loosen. Obviously you're going to loosen the clamp screw or the saddle screw, and you're going to drop this right in so it hits the bottom. And there's a piece in there from the old string, that's why the last one didn't hold in correctly. So what you're going to do is make sure that this is backed off enough for you to get the string all the way to the bottom, and that's how much should be going in to the locking space on the saddle. A good 8mm. I've seen this about 3 or 4mm just hanging in there, just hanging on, and it's not enough. You'll get it all the way in. And you've got to tighten it, and don't go mental, but don't be a pansy either. Once it gets tight, you'll know when it's tight, and that is there. And there you go. Now you'll see I've got some rolled up chamois leather underneath the tremolo. It's slightly raised, slightly higher than it needs to be, just so I can get the adjuster or the Allen wrench in there. And that one is in. And what we're going to do is I'm going to get the string on, but I'm not going to tighten anything because I need to release that tremolo back a bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to thread this string in to where it needs to be, like so. And I'm just going to, you can't see what I'm doing because it's slightly off camera. And I can, there you go, show you where we are. I'm just going to make this as round, make sure this is around the post, because I need to release the tension. That tremolo is going to pull back a little bit and it's going to make everything sharp, so I don't want to tune anything in just yet. I just want to get the strings on at the moment. And that's pretty good. All we're going to do is snippety snip. In fact, I don't like the way that's wound round, it's too high. I'd like that to come a little bit, I mean too low, I'd like that to come a little bit higher up there. There you go. Just keep it neat. And that's much better. And that is good enough. I'm going to go on to the next string. 36 again. Snip off the end. And I will show you. I'll show you these first two. I'll bring it back up here. I'll back it off. Same again, all the way back. You see how this is, see where this is going. I like to go in from the back with the string. I like to, where possible, get the first loop wrapped over after I put the low E string on, and there you go. And again we're going to go pretty much the same. I've got the tremolo pretty much where I need it to be for setting the tension for the tremolo to be horizontal to the body, which is where we need it to be. Now there is another way to set it up, but I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to set it up this way. And again, snippity snip. So I'm going to do pretty much the same with the next 4 strings. I want these tuning pegs all facing that way. Makes it easy for me to string. As I duck downstairs shaking, he's having a bit of a shake, he's ready to go out for a walk. But anyway, I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these strings on, then I'll bring you back in and show you where we are. Hey master, hi. Good boy. could I get another wrap on there before I start that back, should I? It's fine. This is probably now. A little bit of fretwork. It's I only charge 15 for a tremolo, I only charge 60 quid. Got that set. So what we're going to do now is I'm tighten this rod up. Okay. Okay, so what I've now done is put the strings on. I had them loose. I've put the locking clamps on, but again loose. I've adjusted the chamois leather under the tremolo to make the tremolo perfectly level. You can just see it. I'm just watching the headstock, I don't knock it on the wall. So the tremolo is perfectly level with the body. And I've tightened these claw screws right up, not right up to the guitar body, but up a good 3 or 4 turns, which means that this tremolo is now really being pulled back. So this is going to be the action of the guitar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tune the guitar to pitch. I'll get it close to pitch before I stretch in the strings. And the tremolo's not going to move because we've got it pulled all the way back with the support underneath. We've still got to stretch these strings in yet. Out of the way so I can see. We know the intonation is just about spot on. Well, it should be spot on when we've got everything tightened up. I'm going to leave it just flat because once in the playing position, everything will sharpen up, I think. One way or the other. We'll find out, won't we? Right, so that is pretty much spot on. So I'm going to just have a look at the action at the 12th. Again, the guitar plugged into the tuner. We are way high at the 12th fret on both ends, so we are going to have to straighten the neck. I can't get the tremolo any lower than it is at the moment. That's saying that's an E. So what we're going to do is any action we need to alter, we're going to have to do by using or by altering the truss rod. We'll have a look, see where we are there. Okay, we've got a lot of relief in there now, so we are going to tighten the truss rod. I'll give it one good turn, I've got to give it a good turn. That's a good quarter turn there. That will lower the action. we've still got a little relief in there. I'm going to look for 0.2 round about the 6th fret. 0.2 millimetres that is. Let's see what this is saying. That's certainly less than 0.2, so we're going to slacken off the truss rod just a little. Let's settle for a second. While we're doing that, we can snip the end of this string off here. It doesn't take long for the truss rod to adjust. You don't have to leave it overnight like some people said, you leave it literally seconds. That's pretty good. Just rubbing on there, we can give that an oomph of a turn to tighten. Just an oomph, that's like 100th. It wasn't even a degree, it might have been about a degree. So that looks pretty good. The action still looks high on this side, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's as low as it will go. 2, 175. I'm thinking if we let the tremolo drop back a little, like so, that will lower the action ever so slightly. But I think that has done, and that should be pretty much where I need it to be. That's not bad. 175 on the treble, we're just over 2 on the bass. I wonder if we can just get it back a little bit. We're 2 mil on the bass side, 175 on the treble, and that's pretty much okay. Everything's sharp because we remove the support, which is good, which is what we wanted to happen. That's a dog grumbling. So we're not in tune yet, I think we're close, but not too bad. Now we have actually lovely 175 on the bass side, 1.5 on the treble. So the tremolo is definitely pulling back more than I want it to right there at the moment. But I kind of like it like that because it's got the action lower. If we let it raise up again, I can get the action higher. So let's have a look, see what difference it makes if I level the trem off. It brings it up to 2 mil. Right, I kind of don't mind that. So what I'm going to do is block the tremolo from underneath it again, try and get it dead level. That's level. And that's just slightly under 2 mil. Slightly under 1.75 on the treble side. That is fine, that is where I want it. So we're going we have to alter the claw springs at the back once we've got everything set, which is the way we should set a floor dress up. So set everything up slightly flat. So that is getting us to just about where we need to be. Again, checking the action. That's as low as I can get it. 2 on the bass side, 1.75 on the treble side. And that's the best we're going to be able to do with that. So off camera I'm going to stretch the strings in, get all the stretch out of the strings, and then we're going to look at clamping everything off and getting everything set up finally. Now I want these, they're pretty much pretty good as they are. I'm just going to bring them in a little bit. Give me plenty of adjustment each side. And that's pretty level. That's not bad at all. So, back soon. Okay, so we're at the meaty end of the setup, and what I've done is I've tuned the guitar in, I've set the tension, I've set the neck, I've already done the intonation, tightened everything up, tightened the locking nuts at this end, and what I'm going to do now is now everything's in tune, and we'll just check the tuning again. We only need to be thereabouts. And everything seems to have gone a little bit sharp. Doesn't matter, we can sort it all out in a moment. Or if it's gone a lot sharp for whatever reason. It will do this until I get it all set properly. Make sure I've got enough adjustment each way. Don't appear to have enough adjustment there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset everything. I'm going to put these exactly where I want them. That's something I didn't check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bear with me a second. It's just my wife coming from walking the dog, so she shouted up the stairs. That's okay, she's allowed. Right, okay, so let us undo these clamps again. And then we don't have a string retainer bar there, which makes a difference. It means when you tighten these clamps, everything sharpens up. Now with the retainer bar, it pulls all the strings down underneath with these tights. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen these. I'm going to reset and retighten. We'll set everything just slightly flat. So everything just slightly flat. Okay, got everything slightly flat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this one because this one tends to spin round when you tighten it, so I'm going to hold it on this edge. Same with this one. And with this one. No string retainer bar. What we're going to do is we're now going to tighten. So they are all nice and tight. I'm going to check the tuning again, and we're going to alter it on the fine tuners. That's really sharp, that E. So that's we're in tune, and now what we're going to do is we're going to remove what was holding the strings down, just a piece of chamois leather there, and we're going to check the tuning again because we may need to alter the claw springs at the back, but we will see. It's very, very slightly flat. I'm quite happy to retune where we are. We're in tune. So let me show you where we are. We're now in tune with the tremolo set perfectly level. We don't have to do anything with the claw springs or retention there. So all I've really got to do now is just check the height of the frets, put the backing plate back on, and not the height of the frets, the height of the pickups, which we are a little bit high on the bridge for my liking. And again, it's not too bad. Just let me adjust slightly there. Slightly higher that side, slightly lower this side. That looks pretty good. And I'm quite happy with how that's set. So that's it. So I need to get the before I do anything else, just got to check. That's relief we have. I was hoping for something around 0.2 at the 6th fret. We have a 0.2 feeler gauge right there. 6th fret, and we'll just want to feel it slide. And we're just feeling it slide right there, so that is perfect. So we've got the action nice. So I need to put on a cover for the truss rod. Once that's on, we'll put the back plate on, and this guitar will be ready to go back to its owner. So let's recap what we did. When we had a look at the frets, there was some, I can't get this lined up right, there's definitely some holes somewhere, there you go. Are we there? Yeah, we are about there. Yeah, so some of the frets apply, so we've hammered those down. We levelled one needed quite a bit of levelling, which we did. That's fret 5, I believe. And we're just doing basically a regular setup, including a tremolo setup. And we charge £15 extra for a Floyd Rose setup. To restring a setup Floyd Rose on its own is £35. This is coming with a setup, charge an extra 15. Because of the time it takes, I'm not going to charge it that, I'm going to charge him 60 quid all done. But he supplied the strings. So I'm knocking him with a £5 for a fret, £5 for a tram setup, so 60 quid all done. That's because I made him wait a bit longer. I was supposed to take it back last week. But with my birthday coming up, I had a busy week. Yeah, nice guitar. Not really, I say not the kind of thing I play anymore, but you know, I do have a similar type of guitar. Now it appears that hole has moved, which is great. No it hasn't. It hasn't already moved, that's it. We knew that, didn't we? So that's that done. I need to remove this arm because he taped it to the box. And now that tape residue is on there, which I'm going to get off with some white spirit shortly. And another reason why I like to put this folded chamois on this neck holder there is just lay the strings on there and it leaves the back open for me to replace tram cover at the back. Now what is sticking out there? One of these springs is not in right, I've just noticed. Now that could alter things. Let me have a look. Okay, there you go, that was lifted out at the far side. Let's put you back on there. This could slightly alter things. And it has, because it's altered the tension of everything. So I'm going to reset everything again. So bear with me, I'm going to stop the camera, I'll reset everything because that spring wasn't on right. Here we are. I went back and reset everything again. We're now in tune with all the fine tuners just about level, which you can see, you can probably see there. Everything's looking and sounding pretty good. So now all I have to do is put on the back plate. It's where we were before. We have all of, one of them pulled out as well. This is a problem with this tremolo, type of tremolo then. This one's pulled out at the top. I can see it there. I'm probably going to reset this again. So that's the problem with this tremolo by the looks of it. Now they are all in proper. Let's just try it again. We may be fortunate. Well, this is beginning to piss me off a bit because these are popping out of a tremolo here. Okay, let's do it again. I'll keep the camera running. These things happen. But it just shows you I've spent the best part of the whole afternoon on this guitar for 60 quid. I do a lot of work for the prices I charge. Probably when I tighten these locking nuts, the B goes mega sharp. So what I do is I've been doing setting the B flat, quite a bit flat. Oh, we're pretty much level there. Setting the B quite flat. So I've set the B quite flat. It's not a perfect way of doing things, but it happens sometimes with these. It's not being a real Floyd Rose, it's a little bit more difficult to set up. We normally have a string retainer down there and that gets rid of all the problems. Again, another place where they've cut corners and save some money. Right, let's get these tight. So something to watch out for when you make sure these haven't popped out of the holes. Which there, that one pops out, then that one pops out. And you get some with the angle back so they don't pop out at all. But you know, let's see where we are now with these. So the E, quite a bit sharp. That's because there's no string retainer bar. But you still sharp up, even though I set it flat. Right, we are in tune and the springs have stayed where they're supposed to stay. Now we can put the back plate on. My goodness. So that is it, the guitar is set up and ready to go back to the owner. And it's a lot of work. It's had over 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, you know. You're getting your money's worth, you people. Right, where is that? That's my wife texting me telling me that dinner's ready. I can guarantee that I'm going to go down with my dinner. I've got a nectar straight tonight on the neck jig over on the other bench, which is not set up yet. I'm going to set that up in a minute after my dinner. I want the neck done because I need to get another Warwick bass back on that jig because I need also to remove a fingerboard. And I hope to be ready to remove the fingerboard tomorrow. I can start cutting through this backlog of jobs I've got. So there you go. So that is on there. So for all intents and purposes, that guitar is set up. I'm going to check the tuning and I'll come back, I'll move the camera and we'll tie up this video. There we are guys, we are all done, even down to me cleaning off all the tape residue from the tremolo arm using some white spirit and tissue. We've got all that rubbish off, so that's all nice and clean now. So let's recap what we did. So I came in, just wanted a proper setup. We've got it as low as we can. Let's have a quick measure, see where we are, the 12th fret. I've got hardly any relief in there. Well, I've got 0.2 mil at the 6th fret. We are looking to be 2 mil on the bass side, about 1.75 on the treble. I can't get it any lower. these screws or studs in the tremolo will not go any lower. We have the tremolo set horizontal, so we've got pull back and dive bomb mode. We've got a set of Slinky 1046s on there, Cobalt, these gubbins that Vic sent with the guitar. I've changed the height of the pickup so they're closer to the strings just a little bit. They should be absolutely fine where they are. And that's it. We had a couple of problems with the springs popping out of the block. That's fine. Again, this is a nice tremolo system. Don't know how stable it is, but it is got a Jackson stamp on it, but it is by Floyd Rose. So I wonder if Floyd Rose are manufacturing them for Jackson. There's a bit of a compromise on there. I would say not all of the metal is all steel. The compromise on this guitar is in the finish by the looks of it. Oh, that pot's loose. Just see that control pot there, that needs tightening up on the tone. So I'll sort that out before I let it go back, but that's it. There's binding on the neck, there's no paint on there, it's a satin finish. Tuners are just standard. It has mini pots inside, an import 3-way switch, but that's it. A nice guitar. Certainly plays alright, sounds alright, looks alright. So there you go, that one is finished. So before I go, remind me of my website, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I Victor, I am your prep friend. And until next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.